everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm just going to be updating you briefly on some recipes I have been trying out lately. First of all, I've been doing a few puddings lately, and about a week or two ago I decided to make a Clafouti. For those of you who don't know, I'm sure French viewers will know what I'm talking about because it's a very popular French dessert. A Clafouti is a type of flan made of fruit, typically cherries, baked in a sweet batter, and often almonds are included in the batter as well. I found this recipe off of BBC Good Food. It's called a cheeks Clafouti. It serves 2 people, but obviously as I'm only one person I cut down. I decided to make this for breakfast on a Sunday. It's a type of pudding that does work well as a breakfast because it does contain the eggs and the milk and a bit of carbohydrate and a fruit, and I would say it is a relatively healthy, guilt-free pudding as far as puddings go, low on the sugar front. So so pitted cherries. I would say about half a punnet is probably about a good amount for one person. I used half a tablespoon, about half to 1 tablespoon of jam. The recipe stipulates cherry, plum or almond jam, but I used strawberry fruit spread because that's what I had available. Finely grated zest and juice of 1 lemon, so about half a lemon if you're one person. 50 grams of plain flour. I cut down to about 25 grams. As I say, 25 grams would be about more than enough, I would say, for one person. Is this quite filling? 3 large eggs, I used 2 eggs. If you wanted it a bit less filling, you might just use 1 egg. Just play around and experiment with it. For 2 people, it would be 450 mils of milk, semi-skimmed. I used, as I say, about 225 mils, but I think probably I would use a bit less if I did it again. I think I might have added a bit too much milk, so maybe about 200 mils or even slightly less. Possibly even only 100 mils, but just experiment and find out what works best for you. A lot of this is trial and error. A little bit of ground cinnamon, and recipe says 3 tablespoons of caster sugar. I think that's more. I think that's too much. I mean, obviously this is for 2 people. I would just use about 1 teaspoon for one person. I'm not really into sugar, so a little bit of sugar is more than enough. Recipe says caster sugar, but I think mascarpone might be very, very nice. So what you do is you set the oven to 190 degrees. You oil a shallow dish. You gently heat your cherries and jam in a large pan, stirring all the time until the jam melts. You tip into a dish and you sprinkle with the lemon zest and juice. You whisk the flour, eggs, milk, cinnamon and sugar together. You pour over the cherries and then you bake in the oven for about 25 to 30 minutes until the custard is set and the jam bubbles through, and you serve that hot. And it, like I said, it is very, very nice. Here it is. The other thing I've been doing recently, because as I think I've told you elsewhere, I do like my porridge, but as the weather is quite warm at the moment, being very humid, I'm not cooking porridge at the moment, so I'm experimenting more with my overnight oats. And I found this recipe, which came from the New Porridge book. I do not have the New Porridge book in front of me because it's a library book, but I wrote down the recipe in here. So I write down all my recipes in here, my dessert recipes, and I tick them off as I go along so I know what ones I've done. A little system I've worked out, which works really well. So this one is called Tiramisu Overnight Oats Parfait. It is really nice. I've now had this twice. What you do is you, a portion of oats for one person, that's about 40 grams, just under 2 ounces. You combine the oats, flax seeds, golden flax seeds. I use 1 tablespoon of golden flax seeds, an excellent source of omega-3. Cocoa powder, about 1 tablespoon. I think I only used about half a tablespoon because cocoa powder is quite rich. Cocoa powder in a jar with a lid and mix. You again make up some coffee in a jug. 1 teaspoon of coffee powder, instant coffee powder, about 62 to 63 mils of that in a jug. You allow that to cool. You mix the coffee water into the oats, flax seeds and cocoa powder along with some milk. The recipe stipulates almond milk. We could use coconut milk as well though if you want. So that's 62 to 63 mils again. You mix that well, you put it in the fridge overnight. It is really, really creamy when it comes out of the fridge and it's really, really nice. And then when it's ready to serve, You top the parfait with Greek yoghurt and grated chocolate. I used grated chocolate or cocoa powder. If you're using grated chocolate, just use a very small amount of dark grated chocolate. Today I had it with cherries, the other day I had it with banana. You don't have to add fruit, but obviously fruit livens it up a bit. It's really very, very nice, gives you an extra dose of caffeine in the morning. Your cocoa powder gives you a bit more caffeine. It's really, really nice. This one I recommend. It's very good. Tiramisu, overnight oats. Do try that if you're into coffee, that is. As I say, I do recommend it. It is very, very nice. So, as I say, I have done some more cooking on the desserts front, but that would take more than one video, so we'll spare that for another week. Oh yes, I've also, as you know, I do get these magazines here. This is the Waitrose magazine. I get this one free because I've got a card, and these are very good for finding recipes. I collect these. I keep every single magazine. They're very good for their seasonal recipes, and blackberries are currently in season. And I made this recipe recently, a blackberry breakfast smoothie. This was nice. I don't make smoothies that often because, you know, they are a little bit labour intensive. It's more of the fact, you know, that it's quicker to drink the thing than it is to wash up. So being a little bit, you know, you do have to wash up the blend, and that can be a bit of a faff. But now and again, making a smoothie is very nice. This is a blackberry breakfast smoothie. I made this on a Sunday. And what you do, it serves 2 people, so I cut it down. So 2 bananas, I use 1 banana sliced. 400ml almond milk, I use 200ml of almond milk. 2 teaspoons chia seeds, I use 1 teaspoon of flax seeds because I'm not particularly keen on chia seeds, so I use flax seeds instead. A heaped tablespoon of porridge oats, I use half a tablespoon of porridge oats. 150 grams of blackberries, I use half a punnet. The recipe says ice cubes. I don't really like ice cubes, so I didn't use those. But if you did use an ice cube, that would be 4 ice cubes for 2 people. Sorry, yeah, 2 ice cubes for 1. And half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. I just use a pinch of vanilla extract. And 1 tablespoon, half a tablespoon of honey or maple syrup, which is optional, but you know, for a bit of sweetness, so I did a bit of honey. So at least 2 hours ahead, or preferably the night before, you put the sliced bananas in a plastic food bag, seal and freeze. I'd never tried frozen bananas before, but I did actually, when I took them out of the freezer in the morning, I tried just a little bit sliced, and they're actually perfectly chewable, and they're just very nice and cold and very refreshing, so I might try it again, you know, on a really, really hot day. You know, having a little bit of frozen sliced banana, something to suck, might be quite nice. When frozen, yeah, you put the almond milk in a blender, you stir it in the seeds and the oats, you leave to swell for 5 minutes, then you add the remaining ingredients, including a banana, and you whiz for 60 seconds until smooth and thick. This was very, very nice. As I said, I did have it for breakfast, but it wasn't quite enough to have on its own, so I also treated myself to an apple and raspberry flapjack, which I got from it's a whole food flapjack I got from a local whole food shop. I don't have flapjacks that often, but they're sometimes quite nice for breakfast, and also it's relatively guilt-free having them for breakfast, because, you know, you could say, oh, I had it for breakfast, it's not over and above what I've already had, you know, so it kind of like balances it out, and you feel that you can have something that's maybe a little bit on the naughty side, although, as I say, it's a flapjack, so you've got the oats there, so, you know, you get oats, yeah, quite healthy. It's healthy-ish. But like I say, I had it for breakfast, and I had it with blackberry and banana smoothie, which is very healthy, so, you know, it sort of balances out, so I could say it's relatively guilt-free breakfast with a little bit of sweetness added. So that was very, very nice. Okay, I'm going to stop there. I have done many, many other recipes, but I want to kind of spread them out so I can do maybe the other ones next week, some of the other savoury ones I've done, which I think I'll do in my video for next week, as I don't want to, you know, I think that's quite a lot. When I'm doing recipes, obviously it's quite a lot of information, particularly if you're interested in doing any of these recipes. I don't want to bombard you with too many recipes all at once. Yes, I just thought I'd do that. I just talk about the Tiramisu, which came from the porridge book, for Clafouti, which came from BBC Good Food, and the Waitrose one today. And I'll put the link, I'll try and find a Clafouti recipe from the BBC Good Food, so I'll put that in the link in the box below. So I'm now moving on to video number 2, where I'm now going to be talking about some of the research I've taken part in recently. So thank you for watching.